Okay, here is the section 4.2 instructional video for writing equations in point slope form and then using point slope form to write an equation for a line in slope intercept form. So goals are write the equation for a line in point slope form given a point and a slope, and use point slope form to write a slope intercept equation if you have a graph or if you just have 2 points. So we're going to do a little bit of work to try to figure out what is this point slope form. So we know for a line, I'm going to use a different pen, let's use this. If I draw a line, the slope of this line, m, is constant. If I take any 2 points, this ratio of rise over run, that ratio is going to be constant. So if I take a point, x sub 1, y sub 1, and I have a slope, so here's my point, x1, y1, and slope, m, I can write the equation, I can say the slope, m, is y minus the y number divided by x minus the x number. Remember, slope is change in y divided by change in x. So this is always going to be true for a certain line. If you have a certain line, goes through this point, has this slope, any xy on that line is going to make this equation true. Now what we can do is we can multiply each side of this equation by x minus x sub 1. So we don't have this fraction going on, right? That cancels out this side. Now we get y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And this is our point slope equation, where we have our point, x sub 1, y sub 1, and our slope, m. So this is point slope form. Y minus the y number from the point equals slope times x minus the x number from the point. So let's just go ahead and do a couple examples. If we know the point and the slope, what is the point slope form? Point slope equation. So let's say we have the point -4, 10, and the slope 3. Well, if I want to write it in point slope form, I'm going to go y minus the y number equals slope times x minus the x number. The x number is -4, so I'm going to go x plus 4, because x minus -4 is x plus 4, right? Subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. All right, that would be it. This is point slope form. That's the point slope equation. All right, let's say we have another example. 3, -8. I want to write the point slope equation for a line that goes through this point and has a slope of m equals 1/3. Well, here I write y minus the y number. The y number is -8, so it's going to be y plus 8, because subtracting -8 makes it positive, equals slope 1/3 times x minus 3. Notice, when x is negative, we have an x plus. When x is positive, it's an x minus. When y is positive, we have y minus. When y is negative, it's y plus. It's always the opposite of whatever that symbol is, because this point slope form is y minus number. Y number equals slope times x minus x number. All right, we're going to do a quick little action of rewriting equations in slope-intercept form. And then we're going to jump straight to the whole big idea of why we actually use this. Actually, you'll use this in calculus. In calculus, you'll have a point on a graph, on a curve, and you'll want to know the equation for the line that's tangent to it, that has that same slope. So you've got the point, you'll find the slope, then you can write that equation using point slope form. So don't forget this when you get to calculus. This is an important one. So let's say we have y minus 5 equals 5/4 times x plus 8. We want to write this in slope-intercept form. Well, first, before we do that, we can look at this and we can say what point and what slope do we have here? We got a slope of 5/4. We have a point of -8, 5. Opposite of this number is our x number. Opposite of this number is our y number on our point. It's not what it's asking for, but just a little bit of information about this equation. So we want slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So what we're going to do to get there is we're going to simplify the right side of the equation, and then we're going to isolate the y on the left. So to simplify the right side, I'm going to multiply this 5/4, distribute it, multiply it through that x plus 8. So we have y minus 5 equals 5/4 x plus, and remember we're multiplying by a fraction, it's going to be 8 times 5 divided by 4, right? So fraction is multiply a number on top, divided by a number on bottom. Or I could go 8 divided by 4, and then times 5. So 8 times 5 is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10. I could also go 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. We get 10 either way. So I have 5/4 x plus 10. When I distribute that, right, because 5/4 times 8 is 5 times 8 over 4. 40 over 4. That's where that 10 comes from. All right, now I want y equals, so I got to get rid of this plus 5, or sorry, minus 5. I'm going to do that by going plus 5 on each side. So add 5 to each side, and we get y equals 5/4 x plus 15. Notice, same slope, but now we know the y-intercept is going to be 0, 15. That b value is 15. All right, let's do one more example, then we'll jump straight to, well, we'll jump not straight to, but we'll jump to like our big learning target. So here, let's say we have y plus 6 equals -2/3 times x minus 12. We want to write this in slope-intercept form. Once again, we have a slope of -2/3. Our x number is going to be a positive 12, the y number is a -6. Remember, it's the opposite, right? You don't need that for this problem, just reviewing. All right, so once again, we're going to simplify the right side, then isolate on the left. So I'm going to distribute through the parentheses to simplify. So I have y plus 6, still on the left, equals -2/3 x. And then here I'm going to multiply a -2/3 and a -12. The negative times a negative makes a positive. And then 2/3 times 12, let's move this here, 2 over 3 times 12. We would say, well, 12 times 2 divided by 3 is 24 divided by 3, which is 8. We could also have gone 12 divided by 3, that's 4. 4 times 3, oh my goodness. 2 times 3, 2, top number's 2. 2 times, oh my goodness. Let me try that again. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. That's what I get for like trying to do without looking at it. We get an 8 there. Now we want y equals, so we got to isolate on the left. We got to get the y all by itself. We do the opposite of plus 6, which is -6. So we're just solving for y. And we get y equals -2/3 x plus 2. Slope of -2/3, y-intercept of 2, or 0, 2. All right, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be given a pair of points. So 2 points that are on the line. We're going to write the slope-intercept equation. And we're going to use point slope as our avenue to get there. So let's say we have 2 points on the line. And those points are 3, 4 and 6, 3. So what we got to do, if we want point slope form, in order to go to slope intercept, right, we want slope intercept equation. Right, basically we need the slope and we need the y-intercept. We don't have the y-intercept because neither of these x numbers are 0. So what we got to do is we got to use point slope form, write this equation, then solve for y to get that slope intercept form. So here we have 2 points. So either of these could be our point for point slope form. And then we just got to find the slope in order to write our point slope equation. So step 1 is find the slope. So first, Step 1, find the slope. So remember, to find the slope, a strategy we can use is make a little table and go 3, 4, put this point on the table, 6, 3, put that point on the table, and then find our change in x and our change in y. Change in x is plus 3. Change in y is minus 1. So the slope, right, the way we found it, to get from 4 to 3, you got to subtract 1. To get from 3 to 6, you got to add 3. The slope is negative 1/3. That's our m. Right, because it's always rise over run. Change in y over change in x, right? Change in y divided by change in x. So now we have our slope. Next thing we're going to do, step 2, is we're going to write the point slope equation. And this means we have to pick a point. So we're going to pick either of these points. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick 3, 4. Why? That's the first one. So I'm going to pick this point. So we have m equals negative 1/3, and we have the point 3, 4. So to write the point slope equation, we're going to go y minus y number, y minus 4, equals slope negative 1/3 times x minus x number, x minus 3. Okay, so now we have the point slope equation. Remember, we want the slope intercept equation, so we're going to do what we just did in those previous examples, like what we just did here. We're going to distribute and then undo the other side. So I'm going to distribute this negative 1/3. I'm going to get y minus 4 equals negative 1/3 x. Negative 1/3 times negative 3. Negative times a negative is going to give me a positive. Here I get 3 times 1 is 3 divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so plus 1. And then I want to get the y all by itself, so I add 4, and that gives us y equals negative 1/3 x plus 5. That's our equation. So our steps were find the slope between the 2 points, write the point slope equation, and then, sorry, I didn't write out step 3. Step 3 is solve for y. So simplify the right side, undo on the left side. All right, we're going to do another example here. And we got 2 more examples that we're going to total do on this video. So let's say we have these 2 points. We want slope intercept again. And we have negative 2, negative 4, and 1, 11. Those are our 2 points. So step 1, actually what I want you to do, I want to pause the video and try these steps with these 2 points. Go ahead, pause it. Boop. Pause the video. Okay, hopefully we're back now. Hopefully you paused it, you tried it, then you can check your work. So we're going to find the slope. So we make our little table. So negative 2, negative 4, 1, 11. From negative 2 to 1, we got to add 3. From negative 4 to 11, we have to add 15. Right? So I'm going from negative to positive on each of these. I need to go through 0. So I got to go 2 to 0, and then 1 more, that's 3. I got to go negative 4 to 0, that's 4, plus 11 more, that's 15. So the slope, m, is going to be 15 over 3, which is 5. So we have m equals 5 here. Boom, found the slope. 2, we're going to write the point slope equation. So point slope equation. And we got to pick one of these points. I'm going to pick this point because it has smaller numbers. Doesn't matter, you can pick this one. Either way. But I'm going to pick negative 2, negative 4. So we have negative 2, negative 4, and we have m equals 5. So I go y minus the y number, which is going to be y plus 4, because that 4 is negative, equals slope times x minus the x number, because it's a negative 2, minus a negative 2 makes it a plus 2. So here we go, we've got our point slope equation. but we want the slope-intercept equation. So the last step, step 3, is we got to solve for y, which means distribute that 5 through. So we have y plus 4 equals 5x plus 10. And then subtract 4 on each side. And that gives me y equals 5x plus 6. Slope-intercept equation. Right? Slope is 5. Y-intercept is 0, 6. All right, we got one more problem, and then that will be it for the lesson. So this next one is, what if, instead of just given 2 points, we're given a graph with a couple of points on it? And we want the slope-intercept equation. So just a different scenario that's very, very similar to this. So here, I'm going to sketch a little graph with a couple of points on it. Let's say I have the point -1, 0, and the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, comma 4. I believe those are the 2 points that I want. Yep. So I have the point -1, 0, and 5, comma 4, and I have the line that goes through it like that. Notice the y-intercept here is not a whole number, right? If it was, we could just look at it and say, well, that's the y-intercept, right? Y equals mx plus b. If I know this number by just looking at where it crosses the y-axis, I can just put that number here. If it's a whole number, I know exactly what it is, and then just find the slope. We don't know what that number is, so we got to use the same strategy we just did. So, step 1, find the slope. Here, we can use the graph to find the slope. Starting from -1 to 5, right? That's plus 6. From 0 to 4, that's plus 4. The slope is 4 over 6. And if we simplify that, we can factor a 2 out of these. 2 times 2 over 2 times 3, cancel the 2. 2/3, or we could just divide the top by 2, divide the bottom by 2. You can divide each part of the fraction by 2. So the slope, m, equals 2/3. So we have the slope. We got 2 points. Let's pick a point. So I'm going to pick -1, 0. Why that one? Well, because it's got a 0 in it. It's got a 0. That means one of them is going to be like y minus 0, which is y. So hey, awesome. So if you can't pick the one with a 0, if you get an x-intercept, use that. We could do it with 5, comma 4. We'd get the same answer. All right, so I'm now going to write my point-slope equation. I'm going to go y minus y number, y minus 0, equals slope 2/3 times x minus x number, which is going to be x plus 1. Now here, I really don't need y minus 0. It's just because y minus 0 is just y. I can erase the y, or the minus 0, and just have y equals. But we don't want to stop here, because we want y equals mx plus b, not y equals m times x plus 1. So we still have one step to do. Distribute the 2/3. Y equals 2/3 x plus 1 times 2/3 is 2/3. And then there's no adding or subtracting because the y number was 0 on the point we picked. And that's it. There's our equation. Slope-intercept form. All right. Hopefully this helps you with the 4.2 homework. I made these 4.2 or this 4.2 homework. It's basically covering 2 days worth of lessons. So yeah, that is it. And thanks for watching the video. Good luck on the homework and have a fantastic day.